This conference will now be recorded.
Small victories.
Okay, well, let's officially call the meeting to order.
Green lights all around. Almost.
Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Approve regular meeting minutes from February 15th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Aye.
Opposed? Monthly financial report and accounts payable.
Who's that 281 Main Street?
Isn't that,
At the Lex building?
So,
What building?
Ameriprise Lex
Oh,
building.
okay, okay.
And Main Street Rentals is the flowers on Main.
Is there a max they can borrow or ask for when they do that? Or is it just the EDA, whatever they feel?
Based on how much money we have in the account, but,
on their financials and what they can afford to do, we wouldn't give someone, oh, sure, here's $100,000.
And their
We have
gross
it.
sales is 50,000.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the monthly financial report.
second.
Aye.
Public hearings, none. Old business, Zumbrota Visitors Guide.
Just to read, we agreed to pay $4,400, right?
Correct.
Okay, because I went through the minutes, and it's for 5,000 copies of the visitor's guide. Before we had 10,000 copies, so we're getting half. So yeah, I gave every one of you a visitor's guide, and Bob's got his here, he dropped off. And any ideas you would have, as Zumbrota residents, to add to. I have some examples of others as well. I have like Cannon Falls, Hayward, Lanesboro, just kind of going through to see what other ones did. And the ones I could see that kind of pointed out, one thing I would like to see in the new Zumbrota one would be one page of, for example, like the first page, if you saw my outline here, of just having general information of the city. Population, distances between Zumbrota and various places, airport distances, parking. We even have a parking map for downtown, city hall website, police, fire department, hospitals, clinics. All that information would be on one page, just kind of giving a general overview of Zumbrota, where we are. I wrote an introduction to Zumbrota. Here's a fine read if you guys are interested. It's the first 100 years of Zumbrota. So looking for something like a niche or something in Zumbrota that kind of sparks interest other than the bridge. And so what I found was why Zumbrota's named Zumbrota, and you can read that yourself as far as the French word for embarrass, because they try to get their way down the river, but there's so much timber in the river to get around it. It was embarrassing for them. Yeah, and like I said, if you know something of Zumbrota, hit me with it. Today I went on because historical interest I found I'm a Civil War guy, and if you go out to the cemetery, there's a big memorial to Private George Reeves, who died at the Battle of Nashville in December of 1864. And on there, there's a quote saying, "I died, tell my mom I died for my country," which is, see that every day. And so I went out there today and found it. It's sparked some interest in some Civil War people if they happen to be visiting. But just to put information like that in, it may help spark interest in the cities of Broad as well. Those are just some examples I found. So what this page is that I have is front and back, and I gave you a copy of it in your in the memo, is just kind of going through the book, and if there's anything to add or take out. The second is this is our city pages, what we have in there right now. And as of right now, we have 16 pages or 15 pages, and I believe we paid for 20. So if there's anything else that you'd like to add to it, please let me know. One thing I did tell Pete was that I was hoping that Ziba itself would put an ad in. I contacted Ziba to kind of generate interest in what Ziba does with businesses. And then I contacted the Covered Bridge Trust, which is a group of citizens who get together and seeing if because they were interested in getting more members.
They had a small ad in last time, but I saw just a quarter-page ad.
Do we have a list of civic organizations?
Well, just the ones from here, such as like Lions Club, but that could be a page of our civic organizations.
Just a couple of notes that I made, and I can send these to, more so for Pete. First, not so much content, but I think my first impression when I saw the book was it's kind of elementary, so I would love to see it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I just think when you open it, it just looks super crowded. Like you flip through it and it was just hard to see the information about our town. Well, I know sponsors want the bulk of the book because they're paying for it. It is. I mean, I even looked and you open it up to the welcome to Zumbrota page. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like,
Right.
Let's put our logo in there. I don't know. So.
And I stole that from, actually, this Cannon Falls one I stole, because when you get, like one of the first ones with Cannon Falls is they throw out, city information right away, and it's a little bit.
Well, even opening to the first page of the contents, it's like moving the advertising sponsors to the back of the book, more as an index versus a table of contents. Yeah, and keeping that welcome to Zumbrota page, or like you said, that city info right away in the beginning. But I did notice that kind of scattered throughout are all the different events. And maybe it would be worth our time to put an events page or what's happening throughout the year. Yeah.
Time is Pete didn't do anything. And
I
then
didn't get to see it.
David-
Kind of ticked.
David came to me the day, they needed it the next day to print.
So.
And you should have seen it. It was the cover looked like, it was so bad. This is like 100% better than what he first gave me. And I said, Pete, why did you wait so long to give it to me? And anyway, it was a kind of a mess. So I think there could be, but I think everything should go through you, because otherwise Pete gets all sorts of mixed up. So I'm just saying, I don't care, because it was true. It was, yes. Well, and David did it, yes. And he did a great job with the time he had. He did, but it could be better.
So here's three possibilities that David actually gave me today of a cover. See, it's just a different angle of, and David's an art person, I am not. But just a different angle of the bridge is one.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Much better than the other one.
And this one is a play on colors, which he was describing to me. And I personally think it makes like the bridge look.
Yep, looks
Run
unfinished.
down.
Looks old.
Looks like it needs paint.
Mhm.
And then the third one was more of a graphic.
I like the first one.
Yep,
I would agree.
Do we need the dates or can we go without a date?
You know, that's a good question. You wrote that on there.
And we know if we have to update it every couple of years, we just update it. We don't need dates on there in case,
Especially on the cover.
maybe, maybe we want to do it every year and a half instead of every 2 years or 1 year.
But I think we should maybe put a date when it's printed,
Yeah,
just in
it'd be a
case if
good-
they're floating out and they
Inside.
say, how old is this? And it's
Right.
8 years old, well, that's, I mean, you could be very.
So like your example on the inside here, there is a date. Just keep that.
He puts all of his information in there, yeah.
Is there a good shot of the website for Zumbrota or something, or a website in there, or on the cover?
In here.
Yeah, a lot of people will go to the website.
It is, well. Underneath. We could also make that bigger. Hopefully we have, Zumbrota website and everything, and then information about the city on one page. And then maybe
Doing a full page of it, yeah. That'd be
That'd
good.
be nice.
I think I tried to send these to you, but I realized that this file is huge. But if you guys see any of these photos you think we should use, could have worked. So I got these from CETA when we did our regional development tour. You see City Hall, Bridge,
There should be a couple nice ones of downtown they took.
I believe Trailhead, like you could use that on the Trailhead page.
Mhm.
Obviously the bridge here, wildlife.
I don't know how you do this, but I wish we could put a big sign out there on that little bridge by the Covered Bridge Restaurant, because people drive by and they think that's the covered bridge sometimes.
They do.
It's crazy.
Are you talking about the one by the restaurant?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw my wife under the bus. She's born and raised in Rochester, and she thought that was the covered bridge. I told her it wasn't. Scenery, but yeah, we get downtown here. I think we should put one of the town square apartments in.
Well, they should have an advertisement, I would hope.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And now, when is this information due to Pete?
The 20th, he told me.
The 20th of,
Well, for businesses, is that the same for?
I would,
Communicated at all,
I
right?
would
We should
say
know
that that would be,
20th of March.
mhm.
It's like Monday.
I mean, that next week, or that week, I would think, because the faster we can get it, then we can get it back. We can, then make more markings on it. You know what I mean? But I think if everything comes from you, because he's really nervous about it too, Pete. He keeps calling me, ask me if I have any questions. I'm like, no, you said it was due the 20th. I don't know. I don't know.
So you contacted businesses, correct?
Yeah.
Kurt, I had noted the crossings here, it's no longer crossings.
So
There's
what is,
a new name for the book. It's the books area, and then there's also the Clay Studio.
so is the Clay Studio crossings?
No. So we got to get those names straight is all I'm saying.
Fridays.
It might be on their door.
Garden Party Books.
And then something Creative Studio or Creative Clay or something like that, or Collaborative Clay, I think, Collaborative Clay. It's hard to say.
Well, yeah, if you saw any pictures in here you think we should use, the good thing about it is we can use whatever we want here. Do you know who that guy is?
Yeah, Jerry Lifford.
You want him in the book?
He lives in Hastings.
Do we have one that takes a shot looking right down Main Street?
Yeah. Let me get to
See, there should be.
it. Then you want to put Veterans Memorial's not in there, correct?
No, it wasn't in there. No.
That just got finished last fall.
There was an article done about the owners of downtown at one time, and they had a shot right on Main Street. They stopped the traffic, and it'd be kind of cool.
all the female business owners. That was
You were there, weren't you?
2012,
It's been a while, baby.
14. somewhere in there,
Was it
maybe.
that long ago?
It was quite a while ago.
He's only been open 8 years.
All right, so I wonder, yep.
Takes us
so
back
here's-
to.
Yeah.
Maybe that was closer to 16, 17.
There's one.
It must have been because I wasn't
Downtown.
in that picture and I don't think.
Well, they're gonna advertise themselves, right? So
That's the one map is in Broda, which is pretty up to date. But that might be more. Yeah. I can look and see.
I don't know, Ziba maybe, or maybe one of those people. We can ask Connie if they've got pictures they wanna use.
How long is that date? This thing been on there?
That's been there a while.
8 years?
Well, no, it was, before that, it was shingles.
Yeah, they redid it.
It's been
Same
on there
shape,
since
though.
probably the 70s, I would guess.
I hate to say it, I've gotten used to it.
And I think Chris looked into taking it off and it was a
Yeah.
lot of money, so she
To
just,
take the awning off.
yeah,
Such
put
an
that on.
interesting thing to see.
Which is better than the shingles, but.
Yeah.
Still,
I think one of the buildings behind there is shorter than the other.
oh,
That's part of the deal.
right.
All right, so with the pages that we have as a city in there, which are all listed, pages the city have, you go, page 7, I had Kim go through it as well. Like remove Garrison Keeler, that was a dated photo. Do you still want the like Christmas card section on there? It's on page 9. So
What was that about?
like a Christmas card.
I should get a photo too. I can bring it back to you. How about?
Just kind of get an idea if anything you want to keep or just be rid of. We're on page 9.
Bridge, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be great to,
If there's room, leave it in, but not.
right, if not, yeah, this welcome to Zimbrota thing needs to change and then, and put just like a city, right? We want a city with all the info. And then we should have one that says, it's like I was thinking, oh, they didn't have the Z Theater in here and they didn't have, but they do, it's just hard to find.
Yeah, it's.
Nothing's easy to find here.
That picture you had earlier with if they didn't do the paint changes on the bridge, that might be better than this one. This is mostly trees. And a lot of those are gone now.
David really likes this picture.
Yeah, that's nice.
Put waders on, took a picture, and that's used, he's used it quite a bit.
This is like the page I'm talking about, but it doesn't have any headline or, it's just thrown in there. So it would be nice to have a.
So yeah, page 9, leave if room, and then change the picture.
And most of the other things I had written down was, just adding what the new restaurants were, if any. Well, I know that the El Haracha wasn't in there, but you saw that. And then changing the camping, I think the fees went up, but I think you saw that.
Yeah, I changed that, all right, I saw that too.
What else? Oh, adding the bookstore somewhere that, or maybe they're putting an ad in, I don't know.
I'd say let them have an ad.
Yeah,
They are
right.
a business.
It is a business, yeah.
Are you fine with the pages of the history of the covered bridge?
Well, I think,
Yeah,
Yeah.
people read that stuff.
yeah, the people like that,
I think
like
it's
the
an
story.
introduction to
Amazing
some-
how many people come through there.
So then when we get to parks, park and recreation is on page 17. And I just, on my sheet that I sent you guys, I kind of threw everything that's related to parks on that. So like the golf course out here, the skating rink, skate park, pool, Pioneer Trail, everything that's involved with parks and some road, I think should go on, kind of on the park page.
Mhm.
And then pictures, obviously, of it.
I don't necessarily think we need a picture of every single part of the park, but
Right.
And then East Park, because they have music in the park, correct, in the summer?
Tuesday.
Tuesdays?
Mhm.
That'd be something to point out.
I mean, it's in here, but it's not connected to that.
It's part of Zach probably.
It's where I saw it.
And I did contact the school, because I think it'd be great if the high school put out an ad, put a full page ad in it.
Would be a good idea.
Promoting
Yeah.
themselves. One of the best things about Zumbrota, obviously living in Zumbrota, was going to be the school. A lot of people move to send their kids to school there, and I think it would be very beneficial for the school, so I hope they do it. I didn't know we had a rifle club. Learn stuff all the time. All right. I assume we'll keep the trail systems. It's really awesome. Trout fishing, those are all good with everybody? Fine with you?
Hear about it, but maybe somebody does.
And people that like that, but I too didn't. It's not something for me.
Other people.
He's in contact with Covered Bridge Festival, so that'll be updated. And then page 31, it looks like they tried to put all the art on one page. So you have farmer's market and then music in the park, which are that's not art. But the crossing studio will change.
I think it'd be better, maybe make this note. If, I mean, I'm gonna rip this, I don't need all these, right? So it was, and then you have Zambrota's amenities or Zambro, whatever you
When
want
you
to call
open
it.
it up, it just-
And you open it up and you're seeing all of it instead of an ad breaking it up. You know
So
what I mean?
What pages was that?
Put them facing each other.
Mhm.
So make it 32 and 33 or whatever.
Well, it won't be the same, but
Yeah.
yeah.
would it be better to have all of these pages that we have text on in the front and all the advertisements in the back? Or is it good to intermingle them?
I think it's fine, it's just that, like, for this, welcome to Zumbrota page, it should be a double page, you know what I mean? Instead of breaking it up with these ads, you could just, I think that's what makes it hard to read.
I like that one.
I'm not gonna change it. It looks like
Yeah.
it's on there.
All right, so
David
ours.
really liked it.
Page
Who does?
David. He's like, this is the best ad.
31, so that'll be changed quite a bit.
Did you think of it?
Yeah, I made it. I make all my ads. 'Cause they don't-
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing if the trail system and the trout fishing were facing each other, when you open them up, they'd have them both, and the ads would be on the next two pages or something. Might be more readable.
And have them on board.
Or yeah, maybe, yeah, with the, you could have the parks and the trails, you know what I mean? So it's not, where the trails is, I can't find it.
Talk to the Connie should get a picture of Excelsior in your citizens zone.
Better at the time. One other thing I like about this Cannon Falls one, and like what Bob had talked about, on every single page, it has their website.
Oh.
Just on the bottom in the footer with the page numbers. That should be an easy change.
Mhm.
Instead of saying Zumbrota visitor guide on every page. Our website.
That was this. That's much more,
It's
I know. But that, looking like that,
formatting issue.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just formatting.
And he should see, I mean, if he's using Publisher, you see 2 pages at a time, so.
I mean, obviously, we don't have as many events, but kind of neat.
Maybe something along the line of like creating headers that stand out. Like
Yeah.
looking at the Lanesboro, there's a header. Looking at Cannon Falls, there's like bright, bold headers.
As you get, it really defines the section then.
Yeah. And it sets itself apart from the advertising.
Better.
Better headers.
What about, should historic downtown? Seems like it should be up front. So like page 33 is a library, state theater, Z theater, art splash, community bands and things. So that seems to be the art page of artistic things.
Yeah, and that should be like this instead of separate.
Right. So that should be, okay. Okay, so let's put.
Yeah, historic downtown, there really isn't much there, is there? They could have a picture of the church, the Congregational Church, at least that's on the historic registry.
Mhm.
It's the only building I think that is.
As well. Is it right by the,
It's by the towers,
right,
by the theater.
Do you have a write-up on the church that would
Yeah.
explain that?
Yeah.
That you could email to him? Because then he doesn't have to do the work to find the write-up.
outside the church, I believe it's written.
There is, and then there's a pamphlet inside too. I could get you a copy of it, but even if there's just a picture of the church, it would draw people. And the Carnegie
Better.
Library
What's
is,
the denomination of that church?
that's UCC.
Yeah, and like the Carnegie Library, where the bookstore is now,
That's kind of
was
historic.
built by, when the robber baron,
And actually, the History Center is kind of historic.
it was City Hall. Yeah, it was City Hall and the fire station, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think
believe
so.
me, it was a fire station when I lived up in the apartment when the siren went off.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fire station.
Just because this one page is hard to read. So either no map or 2 pages.
Squid, yeah.
So have it setting.
I don't know how that's the only thing, I don't know how you'd get it. Yeah, it would have to go that way.
Because if you're going to have a map, you want it big enough so people read it, because I'm
Did somebody tell me what the Heritage of Promise is?
It's a sculpture by the library, I
Right,
think.
but like, why do we highlight it on our map?
It was quite a thing. It's by a famous artist,
It's pretty neat,
but, and that I suppose he thought it would interest some people if they knew what it was. Which I wish that was like the full sculpture. It's just kind of strange,
it's kind of a weird picture.
but maybe that's all I had. I don't know.
I don't want to critique too much because I don't want to have to do this.
Critiquing, let's look at it as
Excuse me.
just better direction.
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't have any direction last year, and now.
Kind of what he wanted to do.
And I mean,
Well,
again, with the time he had when he realized it wasn't.
And I guess my question is,
Yes, you did a great
what's the
job.
rush? Is it, we could take a little more time and make these changes so he doesn't have to feel pushed or anything like that, I think. I don't know what.
Once you start signing up people for
Well, for
advertising.
the advertising, yeah.
I think we'd like to see him get out,
And by
April,
spring,
May, just
yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
when people are starting to be on the move again.
True.
So printing typically takes 2 to 3 weeks, or at least it did with like the community and brochures.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it,
Trying to think what else there is.
All the park information, I think we should have on 2 pages facing each other, like you said. It's almost like you could do 2 pages and then do 2 pages of ads, 2 pages of information, and then 2 pages of ads and 2 pages of information. Although I say this, but I'm not actually printing it, so might sound easier than it is.
It's the same thing Cannon Falls did. Info, couple pages of ad, a little bit more info.
Actually, I think I do like this size compared to this size personally, because this is a little bit more.
Carry in your car.
you can have nicer.
Rhoda, see about making 2 pages of that, make it bigger.
I don't know, Terry, everybody else could read it just fine.
All right. Okay, I got a few questions for you, Bob.
Tough day for Terry. Aaron Rodgers is gonna go to New York. Can he just
Okay.
leave the planet? Can we do that?
That's another choice.
All right, well, is there anything else that you guys?
Yeah, I think we'd like to see it, get a rough
Before
draft, have it all printed for us, and so we can go through and really look and then make changes from that with these suggestions.
Is the golf course highlighted pretty good or just a little bit?
I think just with an ad.
They have a big ad,
Big ad, and then they got this little light up here.
right?
A lot of people look for golf.
A little coupon ad or something. Coupon.
Yeah, one that you can copy over.
Yeah, it's because I can keep it.
Good picture of the new part.
What page are you flashing around here?
Oh, 18. I ripped it out because I want it to be like that.
So you'll get rid of the date. Let's keep the date on the inside. Put the city website on all the pages at the bottom. And we'll have a city page in the intro, which I'll send him that information that he can use and hopefully uses some of the pictures,
And I think that should be a double page too.
the city information.
Yeah. Maybe we get rid of the Christmas cards. I'm gonna give you this so you have it, so you can see my rippings.
Get your face.
You know, should we have have something about having a business park and housing developments?
That should be on the city page, I would think.
Yeah, because visitors, if you want them to see stuff like that, right? So it falls into the right hands, you get a good,
Like EDA lots we own.
I kind of hope he,
Just EDA information.
Right, where you can find,
if he gets the businesses, I hope he gets Greenstead in there. That's pretty unique for some road, I think, to have them.
Already contacted Ziva and they're part of Ziva, so I would hope they would.
to everybody who is, or every business.
And he's calling people.
contact information, never calls.
Hmm.
I don't know know if I'm lucky or.
He's fine, it just could be done with email, but.
All right. Well, this has been helpful.
Yeah.
Any other history or art that we can think of, or anything that attracts people?
How big was the theater? How big was the theater?
They had an ad and it says about it in that double page.
Yeah, that's tough, they don't know that. That would be.
Yeah, it's
The theater on
here,
page 35 is
and then they
picture,
have
33 is
an ad
ad.
on the next page. They had the Arts Council State Theater Art on Main.
Oh, right down there.
Yeah. But like you said, you couldn't find it in
Yeah.
censorship be done with that probably.
Right.
That's the ad that's council
So
wants.
I'll let me go with that first picture.
Striking.
Yeah.
Thought it was better than the other two.
There's the date on there. All right. Type up a list to get it done.
It is historic, yep.
If there is no more discussion, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Actually, I'd like to, it's not on the agenda, but your comment about the bridge at the Covered Bridge Restaurant. Is it possible for us to have some sort of sign made that said, you know, and then ask the Code and Beatles?
Bridge,
Yeah, well, just say this is a replica of the actual bridge, and then have some sort of map or something that points, you know, how to get people there. I know we've got the signs, and there's a sign as they come down Jefferson, they'll see a sign that says Covered
I
Bridge.
might go to one.
But could we look into that maybe? Just seeing what that might cost to, because I've had people
I
tell me
know,
that.
it's more common than you think.
They're like, really?
And we're so proud of our only covered bridge in Minnesota, and then here it is on the highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ditch.
Connects the hotel and the restaurant.
The other thing, Kurt, if you could check, I know I was chatting with Rich and he had brought it up to Miranda that checks were not cut for last year or EDA meetings. Do you know any information about that?
I think they're being, she's asked for.
Okay.
She stopped me in the Kim stopped me in the
Okay.
grocery store this morning and told me that.
Chat
It
with
just got
Rich and Quick Trip and stuff.
Well, Baker's brother was very conservative too, but
What's that for?
I can ask for it.
You get paid
Paid.
to be at the meetings.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Just wait.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Should I plan my Caribbean?
Just reinvest it right back into our community, Bob. Anything else?
I move we adjourn.
We have to all in favor it? Aye.
Either that or we just walk out.
yeah. Rich just gavelled it and said, meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned.